Hi, doctor. Hello. Yes, yes. Sit. What are you here for today? Autism. Yes. I know. What do you mean? I know. I know. When you were like 7, I had a little note that I wrote that says if she can't see me, she won't ask any more questions. That's how autism works. Why is he hiding? Why, Dr. Clowney? Dr. Clowney. I left yet? Has she? I don't even know what to say right now. What the fuck? Isn't this funny? Yeah, this is funny, right? Who the fuck are you? 14 years later, and I am here to talk. Who is she talking to right now? The viewers, can you see them? Is she okay? Is, is she okay? Clowny time. It's clowny time. It's clowny time. Did you guys like this bit? I thought about it when I was walking my dog. It's really good, right? It's like peak comedy. You laughed, right? You laughed. I laughed. I laughed while making this, so thanks. Today's video is gonna be something a bit serious, not something really related to art, but it's something like that I was able to come across thanks to art. When I was 7, when I finished kindergarten, I was immediately rushed to a psychiatrist. You might be wondering, damn, how obvious you were autistic. No, not for autism. I was freshly diagnosed with ADHD, which I still have, by the way. It didn't disappear. It's still here. Here, yeah. The year passed by. I noticed a couple of like quirks in my behavior. I've throughout the years, I kind of didn't really think about them that much, and I was mostly just going to myself. I have ADHD. This makes sense. I have ADHD, which again I do have. But those little quirks that I'm gonna talk about in a minute, they were not fucking ADHD. While I started learning for my finals in school, one day I was scrolling on TikTok, having fun, consuming meaningless information, until I came across meaningful information. I came across a lady who was autistic. Now, important context is that before this, I've never met an autistic woman in my life. I was under the impression that only men could be autistic. I have autistic men in my family, which is the reason I knew about autism. But I only knew of it in the context of men. So, I started watching her videos. She was talking about her experience with autism, good traits, her bad traits, and I was like, damn, I relate to this so much. This is something that like feels really personal to me. So I started doing some investigating. I found out that a lot of the things I've been doing throughout those years, those little quirks that I was talking about, are actually autism. Just things that I doing unawarely to like release pressure in my body. A really important one is the Mario jump one. Is when I walk around. I'm walking around. I stop. I think about something that makes me really happy, and I go. I go this. I do this. Jumping is a recurring thing for me. I jump quite a lot. It's my main form of steaming, of releasing pressure within my body and mind. Uh, when I listen to music, I kind of walk in circles in my room and jump. That's literally all I do. I jump and I shake my hands. I am a stereotype. So after realizing that some of those traits were not typically related to ADHD, I was like, okay, this is a little scary for me. I'm gonna consult my parents. When I asked my parents, do you guys think I'm autistic? They said no. Now we disagree on this interaction because they remember that they agreed with me and that they talked to my old therapist, which was treating me for ADHD and anxiety, and they called her and she said no, she's not. I kept pressing about it. I kept saying I think I'm autistic. I think I'm autistic. I have autism. At one point I said, "Mom, I have autism." I kept researching. I kept talking to other autistic people. At that point I joined Twitter, which you guys might go, "Oh no, Twitter!" Grow up, for real, grow up. And I met so many other autistic people. This was really important for me because um, until that point, I was not really allowed on social media, which is fine. I was a child. More parents should do that. Children should not be on social media. And I started talking to so many people from all across the world, the internet. Um, and I met so many types of people, so many people on the autism spectrum. And I learned that autism is in fact a spectrum. I didn't know that until then. I thought everybody was copy paste of each other. Yep, we are all the same. I learned that autistic people are different from each other. Um, we might occasionally, like cross ways on our spectrum, but we're not going on the same straight line. So I didn't know all of that. I didn't have any autistic friends at the time, at least not that I know of. So I was really struggling. I felt alone, and I was able to convince my parents to get me to talk to a psychiatrist. Like the sketch that I did in the beginning, we went up to him. We had a meeting, and I was like, I think I might have autism, and he was like, Yep, I wrote it in my note. Which is really disappointing, but like I'm not angry at him purely because he's a really nice person. He's a really nice guy. So I can't really find it within myself to get angry. And I also think I it doesn't deserve anger because I was able to have a meaningful journey to get myself diagnosed because I was able to diagnose myself first. So we went to him, and then we had a female psychiatrist who's specialized in diagnosing autism, and she talked to me, and we had 4 meetings. One was with my parents, and the others were only with me, and we were talking, and she asked me a bunch of questions, and she also told me that 1 of every 4 girls is autistic, which is a crazy statistic. And we're just not diagnosed enough. That's the truth. We're just not diagnosed enough. After my last meeting, I started having anxiety because um she was gonna tell us if I'm autistic or not, if she believes I'm autistic or not, if she's gonna give me an official diagnosis. In my heart, I knew I was autistic. I felt it with every fiber of my being. I'm not like being dramatic. I genuinely felt it with every fiber of my being. I am autistic. Living room, and I was in the living room, and I could not stop shaking and moving around. I was so fidgety. I was going crazy. Came in, and I asked them, "Am I autistic?" And they said, "Yes." And I felt like the biggest boulder fell off my shoulders. I could finally go, yes. Um, After that, everything just kind of clicked. My obsession with Soul Eater, I've been obsessed with that show for like, I'm not joking, a good 6 years. I have a Soul Eater tattoo. Soul Eater has been one of my biggest motivations in life. I would not be able to draw like the way I can today without Soul Eater. I fully believe in that. There was a time of my life before I was diagnosed that I would draw Soul Eater every single day. It was for 2 years. Draw Soul Eater every day before I was diagnosed, and it was my whole life. I talked about it all the time. I convinced everybody to watch it. Um, it was everything for me. It still is one of the most meaningful things. I own so many Soul Eater things around my house, and I create so many Soul Eater things because it truly is one of my biggest passions, a special interest, if you will. I found out my anxiety was much more connected to autism than I thought. This part is a little bit tricky to explain. I've tried recording this like 5 different times, but it's gonna work. We're gonna do this. They kind of go hand in hand to me. My anxiety was more like repeating itself than actually anxiety. It was just kind of like things that I knew were scary and I was scared of, but I were repeating itself until I was absolutely petrified of them. Best example is my fear of saying slurs. I am not a bigot. I don't say slurs. But in my mind, I have this fear that I am gonna be a bigot. So sometimes my brain just repeats slurs over and over and over again until like I go crazy because I can't handle it. I can't handle it. It was just really hard, and I talked to my therapist and I talked to the psychiatrist, and she said that a lot of autistic people share that trait, that we have this like intrusive thoughts. I'm scared I'm gonna do something really bad. It's just this evil part of my brain that likes to make me scared I'm gonna be like this evil person that I know I'm not. I don't have the actions, I don't have the words. I have this, quite frankly, stupid fear. And that was something that was really hard to come to closure with, because I was struggling with that for years. Sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better, but I've been struggling with it for years. And after talking to my psychiatrist and my therapist, I was able to receive the right medication, which really helps with the intrusive thoughts of mine. Um, if you or somebody else is struggling with this or any of the things I mentioned, or you see yourself somehow in an autistic person, do some research. Don't be afraid to ask. You're not alone in this. There's so many people that are not diagnosed, that are misdiagnosed. You're not alone in this. And that, don't be afraid to self-diagnose. Don't be afraid. The only reason I was able to get officially diagnosed is, like I said, I told myself I am autistic. I know I am autistic. And it might be scary at first, but again, you're not alone. There's a community with you, there's a community waiting for you, and you're always welcome here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!